What went wrong with Karmine Corp?
It is all over Red Row. The BDS have done it. They've made K-Corp look silly.
Today, we break down why they lost the last regional. I know that sounds crazy, but they're that good, so we kind of need to see what went wrong. So we try to figure out if it was the other teams becoming that much better, them having an off weekend as a team, or was it individual mistakes? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hey guys, if you're on the road to 100K subs, be sure to subscribe if you're new. Please like and comment for the algorithm. It really does help. Enjoy the video. All right, so let's jump right into this and see what happens. I think it's best to probably watch Vati's point of view because he is like the big impact player. And obviously as goals get scored on and stuff, we'll see what went wrong from whose POV and such. But typically from Karmine Corp, we broke down them a while ago, and it seems like everything they do has like a point, right? So right off the rip, a pass gets cut off, and I don't even think that was a bad passing play. It seemed like it was really good, and I can't tell if it... I kind of want to see more so, was it the other teams playing really good because there's some new teams formed? Was it something where Vitality was playing bad? Was it individual mistakes? You know, because off weekends happen and people can't expect you to win every event. Let's be honest. It's so tough in Rocket League. There's so many good teams. But when a team like Karmine Corp is dominating and then all of a sudden they lose to Vitality and then they lose to BDS, you're kind of thinking, what went wrong, right? So that was kind of my mindset when I was going to this video, because I'm even curious myself, like, because right now they look good, don't they? You know, it looks like a regular Rocket League game. They're getting demos, they're getting touches. Itachi's getting soft touches to follow up with himself, you know? So I picked two games that are more so have a couple amount of goals in them, a good amount of goals, and I want to see what goes wrong. So let's, I know there wasn't a goal yet, so that's kind of why I was yapping a little bit. But so far, I honestly think Vitality looks pretty good individually. Okay, here comes a goal. Let's see what happens. So let's break it down from right here. Monkey Moon gets a bad touch out. Itachi puts a shot on it. Honestly, could have led to a goal. Seiko recovers, getting a nice bump. Monkey Moon gets a breakaway. And Exotic goes for a challenge that seems a little bit not needed, if I'm going to be honest. Let's see Exotic's point of view. I'm honestly shocked he didn't block this. Like, the only thing Monkey Moon could have done, the threat, was to throw a shot where he did, and Exotic went past it as if he was going to try to go to the corner wall. Now, from Vati's point of view, it looks like Vati's thinking, oh, I'll just cut it if he comes towards net even closer. You just need to watch the goal. But it seems like Exotic kind of rushed it, and it led to a goal. Now, you could say Vati kind of overcommitted when he pushed up, and it wasn't needed because it wasn't really like a goal scoring opportunity because Itachi was already there. But at the same time, I do think that mistake was kind of like a forced challenge that wasn't needed to be done. But getting back into it, Seiko with the side flip. Will Vati get one back? He doesn't. That was a good chance to score. A lot of you might be saying, oh, Vati puts that away. I'm not going to try to be too harsh. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens, right? Like, you would think he could flick this far post, but he is getting demoed by Monkey Moon. But we do see they get a goal out of it, so let's see what happens. Vati makes a great bump, off-ball play. Remember, guys, off-ball plays are very valuable. If you're rotating back, try to look for bumps if you can, as long as you're not getting out of the play. Itachi gets a pinch back middle, and they get a goal from it. Seiko kind of looks like he trolls again, and it leads to a goal for the other team. He got dunked in the corner. I mean, so far, I don't even think this team looks like... I don't know. I don't even think they look bad, as weird as that sounds. Like, they might have lost, but... maybe it was the other team playing good and maybe just a few little individual mistakes. But let's see. Vati, that's going to be a tough read, and that's a goal. Yeah. Okay, what happened here? So Vati goes around. I don't even think this is a bad touch. He hits it high to Exotic because he thinks Exotic's going to go over there and get the boost. Seiko outreads him to it. Booms it back. Now Vati puts himself in a weird spot, and it leads to a goal. It seems like Vati trusted Exotic to get a beat, and now he's in a terrible spot while one player is trying to bump him, and Monkey Moon gets a free shot. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's weird to think about because it's like he's trusting his teammates, and I feel like a big way teams succeed at this level nowadays is by trust. And once you don't have trust, well, that's a great shot, and it leads to another goal. But once you lose that trust, I like the fact that he hit that over there, because when I broke down this team a while ago, it seemed like every time they would just boom into their team in open space or they were controlling it. But let's see what happens here. So Rise gets a weird touch off kickoff. Itachi's in a weird spot. Gets beat to the ball. Rise gets it around him. And it leads to a beautiful shot from Seiko, and Monkey Moon follows it up. It's hard to judge kickoffs too much because, like, that was one of those spots where Itachi's in an awful spot because the kickoff bounced behind him. You know, so it's one of those where it's like, how much do you really go into depth with that? But in all honesty, I don't even think, like, it looks like there's a few, maybe one goal Vati, you could say, like, kind of committed for a goal, and then Exotic had a weird challenge that wasn't needed. So that could maybe be an individual mistake. But looking more at it, I honestly don't even think this team looks bad. I don't know. For those that follow EU more than me, comment below if you think it's just other teams are getting better now that they kind of found the right pieces, or if you think it's one of those things where, you know what I mean, where Karmine Corp kind of had an off weekend, right? Because in this situation right here, Vati goes for a dive, Vati goes for a hit, he trusts his team again. You know, some people might say rotate back earlier, but let's look, man. I think it might be some more individual mistakes. Exotic gets a bad clear. Let's look. I mean, this is a tough read. Let's not act like that's an easy read. But that clear doesn't end up being the best, and it leads to another goal, you know? So what I'm seeing so far, you know, it kind of looks like one of those things where some individual mistakes. And it could be a mixture of them just looking good on the other side. But yeah, man, let's keep watching a bit. That's a good lob up for Itachi. Oh, that was a good chance. Man, I think that's one of those where you feel like should be a goal, right? I'm starting to think it might be more this weekend was more individual mistakes, because there they go. They got one back. Great play. I'm starting to think it's more of one of those things where it's individual mistakes. I don't know why I keep yawning, bro. It's like I'm one of those people, when I yawn once, I keep yawning because I start thinking about it. And now I'm like, if I yawn like 5 more times this video, relax, all right? But yeah, I do want to say I appreciate you guys watching these type of videos. They do seem to do pretty solid. And it's like, it's easier videos for me because I like breaking down these things because I'm curious to like see who the best team is and stuff at the time. But I do want to start following EU more than I usually do, because usually I just watch NA. But this might sound a little, some NA people might not like this, but I think EU has a really good top 4 right now. You know, you have Karmine Corp, Vitality, you have BDS now, you have Liquid. Like, that's a strong top 4 in my opinion. Even Moist looked really solid this previous weekend. But yeah, let's keep going back into this. That's a great catch. It doesn't even look like Vati's off individually, you know. I think Exotics had a rough little game right here, and I did pick 2 replays where they did like struggle against, because I want to see what teams are doing to beat them, right? But if it's one of those things where if you're losing to yourself, like, I don't even think Karmine Corp's going to be disappointed. Look at that touch. That's such a good touch still. But it's one of those things where if you're losing, when I was a pro, like if we just had a bad weekend, you know, like individually, we didn't really think about it too much. But if you lose series to like your team just getting dominated, that's where you're like, okay, what are we doing, right? Is it all individual mistakes? Or are we just like, was it just an off weekend? You know, and you start like thinking a little bit more. But if it's like 1 or 2 people just having a couple bad plays, it's like, all right, we need to like get our stuff together a little more, you know? Because in all honesty, I don't even think they look bad, like I said. I think it was just a little mistake here or there. You know, they got 2 goals this game, but giving up, if you expect to win a game giving up 4, it's going to be tough, right? No doubt about it. But I'm starting to think, guys, you know, I still think Karmine Corp, I know a lot of people, that's a great play. Let's watch this back. So, Itachi gets Exotic actually got another bad touch there. I don't want to be that guy. I feel like I've kind of hammered him a little bit, but, and then it works out. But man, that could have led to another goal, but the game was over, to be fair. And that game actually ends right there. They keep the ball up a little bit. Nah, it's down. But let's jump into the next game and see if it's kind of the same issues. Let's watch Vitality this time, and let's see if it's a playstyle thing, other teams are getting better, or if more individual mistakes out of Karmine Corp. Because I thought the last series, I thought it was more so just a few individual mistakes that led to goals and got them scored on, you know, 4 times against BDS. Great bumps. Alpha just slammed his own teammate. Vati tries dropping it down soft. That's a smart touch to do because he knows if he pinches it too hard, his team won't have a chance to score it. But so far, looking good for Karmine Corp. I will say they look good as a team still. It just seems like individual mistakes. You know, I want you guys in the comments below. Let me know what you think, if you agree or if you disagree, because there's things I miss. But I do think it's a mixture of other teams getting better, and I don't think this is like an NRG thing. Karmine Corp are still probably in most people's eyes the best team in the world. Not winning one event doesn't mean you're not. You know what I mean? A lot of people might jump the gun and say Vitality's better already. BDS beat them. They're better. Liquid looks really good. I genuinely think just the top. I think for the longest time I've heard EU. That's such a good play from Zen. I mean, what? But let me get back to my thought real quick. Then we'll watch this play from Zen. But I really do think for the longest time, a lot of NA pros have been saying EU is more talented than NA. The issue is a lot of players are on the wrong teams. And once they get on the right team, EU is going to be way scarier. And now you're kind of seeing Zen helping Vitality instantly become a top team over there. You see Liquid looking better than ever. And now you see, you know, BDS with Rise looking like they're rejuvenated and they look great. Zen gets a great pop. Again, Itachi can't get a follow-up touch. Resets it kind of for uselessly here. Exotic gets a bad challenge. And now Avati's in a terrible spot and it leads to a goal. That kind of looks like that goal right there kind of felt like, you know, as second man, you're supposed to challenge the ball, and your goal is at high level if you're challenging a flip reset. For those that don't know, if you are challenging for someone in front of you, for someone behind you, you either want to play the ball or you want to hit the car. If you don't do either or, your teammate in net is doomed, right? But I really don't even think Vati looks bad at all. I think Vati looks pretty solid. I don't even think he's done anything that makes you think like they should be losing these games so far. Now, again, I did pick random replays, and I did not watch every game 100% this previous weekend in EU. But I do need to start following EU because I'm starting to like EU gameplay. That's brilliant, bro. I'm starting to like EU a little more it's more entertaining to me than NA now because there's more solid teams at the top. You know, NA, it's... You know, I guess some people might disagree, but look at this pass from Vati. Vati goes up, gets the perfect pinch. Itachi flies up and beats Radosin because he thought Exotic was going to go, and they get a goal. I still think this team looks incredible. I genuinely think it might just be individual mistakes and other teams were performing at a better level. So if you have, like, on a grade scale, if you have Karmine Corp probably at like a B level this weekend, and then I'm probably putting like Vitality and Liquid on an A level, right? Where they looked really good. You know, again, one of these plays right here, Vati does get a bad touch. As I was just saying, I thought he played pretty good in these replays. And Exotic, why isn't Exotic in a better spot here? So he pushes out. He doesn't expect him to get that touch. Now he can't reach the clear, and it leads to a goal. You know, that's just one of those where it's... You know, I don't want to be that guy, but that's just one of those where it's an individual mistake again. So now I am kind of coming to the conclusion of it looking like it was an off weekend for them individually a little bit more. But then again, some people are like, an off weekend, they still got their placement of this, right? They still beat all these teams and got a top 4 or whatever. You know, it's hard to be like, oh, that's not good. But players like Vatira and stuff, you know, their expectations are literally just winning, it seems like. And if they're not winning, they feel like something's wrong. And I get it. It's like First Killer and like FaZe Clan. I'm friends with the FaZe Clan guys, and they have that same mindset where like if they don't win an event or at least get like top 2, they're like, oh, that was a terrible weekend from us. You know, and they're back in the lab grinding way more. And I get it. Once you're that competitive, like, you know, you get used to things. I do think Vitality, though, I am curious to see where the team's power rankings go from here, because I think Vitality would then instantly jump up to like a top 3 team consistently in EU. Itachi gets a bad challenge coming out of Vatira. He's clearly beat, and now Exotic's in a bad spot, and he has to play Alpha's redirect or the fake, and it leads to a goal. So again, another kind of a 50 comes out in the corner from Itachi. It pops out. Radosin's in a better spot than Vatira. Vatira recognized he was beat, drops down, and then he's in a bad spot. Exotic making a great freaking play though. Look at this. Cuts off Radosin's touch, gets it over Alpha. I mean, that is just world class. Dude, it's weird. Karmine Corp are showing like flashes of like, you're like, oh no, they're perfectly fine. And then it's just a little bit of like a little mischow, you know what I mean? The more I really think about it, guys, I would not be surprised if Karmine Corp win the next regional in EU. Now, you guys might disagree, and I might be wrong, but I genuinely think they're going to have more fire in them to come back, because they are making good plays from the more I watch this. They look good, and it's like they're good for about 90% of the game, and then they have that one little mishap that ends up leading to a goal for the other team. Because look at them taking their time, they're passing. They look good, right? You know, maybe also these other teams are kind of honeymooning. Maybe BDS just formed and they have all good vibes. And they're really confident right now. So they're performing. Same with Vitality. But I would not be surprised. Who do you guys got winning the next regional? Because watching this, I don't feel like Karmine Corp are going to become one of those teams constantly playing like this, where they're making little mistakes. Because these guys, it's hard to play Rocket League at the level they've been playing at. You know, you're going to have one off day here and there. So that's kind of what I'm seeing so far from this, because the video of this, as you guys can tell, is what went wrong. But in all honesty, it seems like it's pretty, what a save. Holy crap, dude. Exotic, guys, look. Remember their first goal they got? I said the challenge, if someone's in front of you challenging, Exotic challenges, he needs to hit the ball or the car, or the defender is probably screwed. Look at that challenge, right? Bad challenge. Now Zen has a chance to score. Incredible save, and it easily could have led to a goal. Again, I think it might just been one of those things where a few mistakes, and it led to them losing, because other teams were doing it less. But 13 seconds here. Let's see what happens. See if they get another good chance. A double commit. Was that a double commit from the other team? It was, but it didn't matter because no one was there to challenge it, and it led to a goal. You know, I mean, it's one of those things where the game's kind of coming towards the end. You need a goal, so you kind of full send people up the field, and it led to a goal, and that's game. So overall conclusion, guys, I really think Vitality and BDS and Liquid all were playing very good this weekend. I think if there's 4 teams in EU that are honestly have all become really top dogs and could take it on the given weekend. But if I had to say overall, I think Karmine Corp made more individual mistakes than team mistakes, which is a good sign if you're a Karmine Corp fan, because this team is obviously, in my opinion, probably going to win one of the next 2 regionals before the major, and then they're going to go on to the major and at least get a top 4 or something, right, or win it. But yeah, I wouldn't be too afraid. I think just an off weekend happens sometimes. Yeah, that's my overall analysis on this. Thank you for watching. As always, I enjoy these videos. Have a good one.